is here. QB. Yep. GBS Steve is here. Wait. Yeah, he is.
Good evening, everybody. If you are watching the stream after the fact, then please do feel free to skip forward to qualifying, as we are getting ready for the race and getting everybody into the lobby. I'll catch you in a moment.
Koza, Muhiti.
Bahrain. I should have a thumbnail for Bahrain.
We should have 16, so where? There's a phantom missing person. Oh, LB, of course.
Yeah, I do have a Bahrain thumbnail. Thought I did. Ah! To my channel, go on to there, edit video,
Okay, I need to start my stream as well. That would help.
Oh, it reminds me, did I even, I have to check that I added this. Oh, so much to look for, so much to keep track of.
Yeah.
Hello to the one person watching right now. Hello, Lifeboat, how you doing?
I didn't manage to get standings out, but
yeah,
I imagine they're not too far removed from what it's like anyway.
I just avoided saying numbers in my comm script today. I'm just like, yeah, this guy's ahead. These guys are also ahead.
Tinoz is going to win. That's all you need to say.
We don't need standings anymore. We know the driver's champion. Wow, someone's having a party outside, man.
Are they?
Yeah, I'm just fucking some grime or something.
Oh,
going on outside. It's so awful. Somebody who doesn't know what headphones are. I hate those people. They go around with a Bluetooth speaker, like blaring out loud.
Yeah,
like, come on, man.
yeah.
Nobody wants to hear your music.
I was in town walking back to the bus station from work a couple of weeks ago, and there was a guy on a bike with a massive boombox strapped to the handlebars, blasting absolutely awful music.
There's always one. There's always one.
There's always one, exactly. Right. Let me get my stream posted. And Jamie is in, so I'm waiting for...
Yes, we are at Bahrain this week. It's gonna be should be a good race. Don't know if anybody watched Tier 1 on Friday, but that was incredible.
Where is LB? He said his PS4 is starting up. Hang on.
Race. Okay, to put the onboard stream on the last one. Okay. Cool. And the last thing to do then.
Flashbacks to the 80s. Yeah, exactly, Ash. The Echo is probably Discord lifebouts on SUMOs.
Yeah, it's probably me. Discord being loud as per. I popped your stream in the stream as well, Ghost.
Ah, cheers, man. People driving with noise-cancelling earphones. Oh god, yeah, I can imagine. Obviously. Why is everyone readying up? Stop.
Oh gosh. If any of you are in the lobby, just please don't ready up yet.
Just gaining some more intel from LB on what his situation is. He's got the update, so he might well not make it. It says 8 minutes, but unless he's got PS5, he's not going to make it. So let's go and hope that the new update that fixed the people joining in qualifying, not breaking the lobby, is going to work.
I think I have some echo on your end actually as well. I can hear
Really?
myself, yeah.
Oh, you might be able to hear yourself very faintly because this sort of earphone is kind of leaky in terms of the sound.
Alright. Oh, right. Get that first win. One Rings app supporting Hartman this evening. It'd be nice to see Hartman up on the podium. He's definitely raced well this season.
Yeah, for sure.
How up on the top step would be even better. I'd like to see the Ferrari pair and have a good race tonight as well.
Yeah,
a bit of a dog of the season.
Exactly. Ferraris need some luck. And, you know, Bahrain's a good place to get it.
It certainly is.
Anyone on the stream, you can ready up, guys.
There we go. Well, hopefully LB can get in time, but if I can get my thing up. Good evening everyone and welcome back to APPF1 Tier 2 for tonight's dose of racing action. I am your Sumo. I am Sumo, your commentator this evening, and joining me as always is the 4-time sprint champion Ghost. How you doing, pal?
Hello, mate. I'm a bit tired. Three working days, but I'm looking forward. Well, actually, not 3. It's been 2. What am I talking about? But regardless, looking forward to a good Tier 2 race. It's Bahrain, which usually produces some good stuff. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And we've got a decent grid today. Hopefully, LB can make it 16, but 15 is not too bad.
No, not at all. So we return from the second break week for round 10 of Season 3, where we head to the deserts for a race at the Bahrain International Circuit. 15 corners and a lap distance of 5.412 kilometres. See us round a lap of a circuit that never fails to produce great races in the virtual world. In Tier 1 we saw a 5-car battle for the lead in the closing laps, which was preceded by further battles up and down the field. With the drivers we have in Tier 2 at the moment, I'm sure we will be in for an exciting race. Any thoughts, Ghost?
Absolutely. As you said earlier, the Tier 1 race last week around Bahrain was absolutely fantastic. So hopefully we can have a repeat of that today. And yeah, Bahrain pace for our drivers is going to be interesting to see because it can vary quite wildly at this track. I've seen, like, some drivers who are very good drivers are not good at Bahrain, and then some drivers who are usually sort of mid-pack can really pick up the pace in Bahrain and do well around this track. So I'm looking forward to this qualifying session. And hello Rick and Lifebout to the onboard stream.
Yeah, so Bahrain will be an interesting circuit as we go into the championship with Tinoz continuing to have a stranglehold over the championship. That looks more and more like a done deal as the rounds tick down. With only 4 races left after tonight, can anybody challenge Mr. Consistent? AlphaTauri continues to hold off against Red Bull so far, but there is plenty of time for the result to shift as we begin to close out the season. Any insights, Ghost?
Yeah, I think Tinoz is going to have to absolutely bottle this to lose this championship at this point. His 2 main rivals have had race bans, missed races, and I mean it's turned into 3 main rivals, but only by virtue of them being close together. They're nowhere near him. So I think all Tinoz has to do from here on out is just finish decently each week. Doesn't have to podium, although he is allergic to getting on the podium, it seems. We've had, 10 races so far, 9 races so far, and Tinoz has been on the podium in 8 of them. So it's hard to believe that he's not going to win the championship. But yeah, I think there's still some things to be won. There's still the constructors to be won. That's still fairly within the realms of possibility for someone to take, other than AlphaTauri, and also, of course, those top 3 steps in the championship can definitely be taken at some point. So, yeah, it's still things to play for.
Yeah, certainly so. There'll be battles up and down the grid, not just in the championships, but on the race tonight, I'm sure. Talking about tonight's action is brought to you once again by Positive Perception Media Design Products. If you love seeing cool livery designs, head over to their socials to catch a glimpse of some truly awesome GT cars and other virtual cars, and even some real-world cars, as we saw a couple of weeks ago with the angry Satsuma, the little 4KA. Head over to their socials and show them all the love and support that you show us over here. I'm sure they would gladly appreciate it. Now, without further ado, we'll move on into qualifying, as I'm riding on board with Scott Rowley, coming through turns 11 and 12 now to start the first lap of the session, the first time lap. The yellow flag at sector 1, I believe that's just a Ferrari, letting the AlphaTauri of Tinoz past our championship leader. But Scott Rowley coming down to the final couple of corners now. He's going to be looking for a really good exit, carry as much speed as he possibly can into the last corners, down toward the line now. He's going to set the initial pace for us, opens up the DRS and sets a 1:29.340, followed by Youssef, who's a 28.4, so he's just under a second up on his time. And here comes the other Alfa Romeo. It's a 26.5. That's an incredible lap.
That is a very good lap from RJ Blair in the other Alfa Romeo. That's a sort of pole challenging lap. We've got SW coming across the line though. He was on pole position at least once this season. I think he was pole position twice this season, but he can only slot into P2 for now, 2/10 behind the American in the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, and I think we've got a Lifebound next across the line. Tinoz is about to start his first lap, so we'll wait a while for him. We'll have Aston Martin followed by Ferrari setting paces now. 26.9 from Lifebound. Here comes the Ferrari. What can he do? It's only bottom of the standings for now. Her face is 29.1 on the medium tyre, and Jamie F1 with a 27.3. Here comes the Haas. Is that QBV? Yes, it is. Yep. It's a 30.4, not a great lap from him. Krauser on an outlap, so it's JBS Steve to set a lap. It's at 1:27.2.
Not bad from JBS Steve onto the second row, but still more to come. Stingray is on his outlap. He's just waiting at turn 1 for people to go past. Very good. Also got Pommy Alex coming out of the pits, the Australian in the McLaren.
Oh, we've got a yellow flag at sector 1 and 2. I think that's an Aston Martin round at the pit lane, pit exit even. That's,
Stingray.
That's Stingray.
I'm not quite sure what he's doing. I think his brake is stuck on by the looks of the telemetry.
Gosh.
Yeah, it looks like his brake is stuck halfway on because he's full throttle and he's not moving. So I think that might be an early retirement for Stingray.
There you go. Yeah, there it is. That is a real shame. Technical difficulties getting the better of Stingray there. He won't be happy with that, but I'm sure he'll have plenty of time to try and resolve the issue. As Tinoz has invalidated his first qualifying attempt, so he's going to come straight back into the pit lane. Let's see if there's anybody else out. Hartman's on his out lap, as well as the People's Champion, Pommy Alex. Anybody else on the moment? I think everybody's just reeling off. So RJ Blair, for now, sat in provisional pole with a great lap of a 26.5. But I definitely think there's some more pace to be found out there from the drivers. I think actually Krauser's about to finish a lap. His is a 28.6. He's currently missing his teammate, but we're hoping he can get himself into the game.
Hopefully. Hello, Woomax. Welcome to the onboard stream. Yeah, it's not really sure who's going to be on pole. With the RJ's got that pace. We know Tinos has got pace, but he's not always up there in qualifying. He hasn't qualified any higher than 5th this season, which seems crazy, given that he's leading the championship by such a long distance, and he's also so far ahead. He's had so many podiums this season, but yeah, he's not the greatest qualifier, our championship leader. So yeah, I think it's going to be between SW and RJ. Lifebout has been on absolute top form this season in terms of improvement. He started this season sort of a languishing rear mid-grid driver who didn't get to the end of the race a lot. And ever since, I mean, he's finished the last 3 races, and he's been qualifying really well. So Lifebout finding a second wind halfway through this season.
Yeah, certainly so. I think Pommy Alex is going to look to try the mediums a lot like her face, just who's setting another lap here. It's a 28.9. It's going to put him ahead of Scott Rowley, but that's not anywhere else. But I think he's already ahead of Scott Rowley actually. So it's still P8 for the Mercedes driver as Stingray has left the session. Hopefully we can get him back in if he's able to fix his issue with his braking. But I believe, is there anybody out on a lap right now? No, but I do think that SW is about to start one, so we're right on board with the Williams driver as he comes through into Sector 3.
Yeah, I'll keep on board with his onboard camera throughout his lap so he can have a look. Yeah, looks like it's going to be a shootout between him and RJ for pole, unless Pommy Alex or Tinos can bring out a fantastic lap. Yeah, here he comes. He's about to start his lap, coming into turn 1 now. It's a fairly long straight. It's huge overtaking opportunities. During the race, he gets on the curb to get as wide an entry as possible and then gets out. You've got to be so careful on the throttle out of turn 1. That looked pretty decent as he comes up to turn number 4.
Yeah, let's see what that sector time is. He's coming up to the line now. It's just down there, just before, I think that's turn 5, or is it? Then that's 6 and 7, so he's a 10th up. So this could be looking to challenge RJ. It's fastest sector 1 for the moment. He comes through turn 8 there. That looked like a decent exit. It's now got all about turns 9 and 10. It's a very tricky corner. You can really lose a lot of time if you get it wrong. But it looks like SW's hooked that up well. That looked like a really good exit.
Interesting short shift straight up to 4th gear out of turn 8. So obviously SW wanting to keep the car on the track above all else. And it looked pretty good, as you said. Here he comes now to the end of sector 2, but he's lost time. He was a 10th and a half up, so he's lost a
slide there as well out of 13.
Sector 2, yeah, oversteer through there. So coming up to the last corner now, SW in the Williams to the apex. That looked pretty decent, but a bit of oversteer on the exit will cost him time, and indeed he's into the pits.
Into the pit
lane. Thinks he can do a lot better than that, and I agree.
Lifebout's about to start a lap as well. It looks like Hartman's out. One Ring will be hoping that he gets on that top step of the podium today. But before we go racing, we must complete qualifying. So we'll follow Hartman as he comes through 11 and 12 here. We'll watch his sector time once he comes over the line, which is just in between turns 12 and 13. Let's see what it is. Oh, it's his first lap, so we're not going to actually see what his sector times is. There's no improvement. Is that a Ferrari setting a lap time? It is. It's Mahiti. Comes across the line. He's 10 seconds up. He goes 1:27.7, 1/10 ahead of his teammate. So the Ferrari's looking quick at the moment. But here comes Hartmann setting his first lap of the session. It's not going to challenge the pole times, I think, but it might be well up there. Yes, it's P8 as Yusuf has crashed at turn 13.
Yeah, easy place to do it, but here comes Pommy Alex up to the line on those mediums now. It's going to be in the 28.5, so slots into P9, well ahead of the other medium tyre runner of Hephaestus, so not too bad from Pommy Alex, but Hephaestus is now strapped on the softs. And yeah, the starting on the mediums is... It can work. It can work very, very well.
Lifeboat's up at this time. I didn't see exactly how much, but it looked pretty good from what I saw.
2.5 tenths from my screen. So here he comes up to the line. Gets a bit too much on the curb. Would have lost a bit there, but it looks good for Lifeboat. 26.6. So just a tenth off of the pole time, and we could have a surprise challenger for pole position today in the form of the Aston Martin.
Wouldn't that be something? I think Tinoz is now setting a lap, our championship leader. He's got the 2 Haas cars ahead, and he's going to get the tow from, I think that's QB. No, that's the other Haas of JBS Steve. I think Mahiti's going to peel into the pit lane, same as Hartmann. So I think watching these guys is going to be the best. We'll see what JBS Steve is. He's the lead car of the car. No, he's not. It's QB who's the lead car of the cars on laps right now. He's 7 hundredths down on his previous time. So what about JBS Steve? Whereabouts is he? I'm not sure.
He was a tenth and a half up through sector 1, but he completely messed up turn 6 and 7. Went very wide and had to brake through turn 7, which is not what you want. So when he comes to turn 10, misses the apex as well, so would have lost a lot of time in this sector, and he could end up being caught by the AlphaTauri behind, which would be a huge shame for the AlphaTauri.
Yeah, it really would. He might be feeling the effects of the dirty air from the Haas in front of him with Tinoz, but he will get that tow as they come down through the final couple of straights. It's purple sector 2, but this is Tinoz's first run, so it's not exactly representative of what he's doing thus far. It'll be these last couple of corners that tell the story as he comes down to the run for the line. That Aston Martin peels out of the way. Good respect shown during qualifying. That's what the drivers have to do, is a little gentleman's agreement. But out across the line comes Tinoz. It's a 26.9, and I think he would have been feeling the effects of that car ahead of him as possibly a distraction and a dirty air as well.
Absolutely, and it looks like he's going on another lap to make up for it, Tinoz. But he's invalidated it immediately, so he's going to have to come into the pits. Is he going to have time to come out again? It's going to be very close. Very, very close. I think you will make it.
Rush into the pit lane. He'll just have to bomb it on this lap.
LB says he won't be able to join. It's taking ages to copy the file, which, yeah, as always. Story of the PS4. So that's unfortunate for the Red Bulls, but...
Speaking of Red Bull, Kraus is 5 tenths up on his previous best. It's going to put him in the high 28s.
But he's invalidated.
He's invalidated the lap.
Into the pits he comes. He's going to go again. It will be a very disappointing qualifying for Kroza. His average qualifying is 8.75 this season. So he'd be very disappointed if he finished out of the top 10 of this session. Tinoz, yeah, I mean, this would be Tinoz's best qualifying of the season, believe it or not, if it did end like this. So he would be reasonably happy with a P4. Who else is on a lap? No one's actually on a lap except QB, but he's into the pits. So we're waiting for people on out laps, and the first of those is Muhiti, so we're right on board with him.
It is indeed Mahiti coming across the line. I don't know why it's following an AlphaTauri. F1 Jamie, Jamie F1 even, he's just out of the way of Mahiti there as he comes through the first corner. Let's see if the Ferrari can get himself up. His teammate out of the session after crashing at what I'm assuming was turn 12 into turn 13 there. That curb is lethal If you touch it just in the wrong spot. Let's see if Mahiti's up on his previous time. He's up by 0.04 of a second as he comes through into Sector 2. Down.
Yeah, it was a plus.
Is it? I look like a minus.
It was a plus on my screen.
I can't remember.
Yeah, he was very close to invalidating at turn 6, so I was pretty lucky there. Misses the apex of turn 10 and goes wide and invalidates. That's unfortunate. So I don't know if he's going to have enough life in those tyres to go again. But
here comes Scott Rowley on his lap, final lap of the session for the Alfa Romeo. Coming down the straight, he's got his teammate just behind him, is on an outlap, the man on pole at the moment. But there'll be plenty of time for the other cars to challenge him. Krauser's on an outlap as well, so we'll keep an eye on the Red Bull, the only Red Bull in the session this evening. As Jamie F1 comes through, he'll be starting his outlap as well. But it's all eyes on Scott Rowley. We're waiting for him to come down to the Sector 2 line. I didn't see where he was on his current time at the moment, but he opens up the DRS and on the run down to 11.
I have a theory, Sumo.
Yes.
Lifebout, I was just talking earlier about him improving this over the course of this season. I think when he started
6 tenths up for Scott Rowley, sorry.
Sorry, no worries.
Good improvement.
But yeah, when he started turning off his assists to race in Tier 1 as a reserve a few times, suddenly he started driving a lot faster. So, you know.
Only P10 for Scott Rowley.
Not bad from Scott Rowley, actually. Just ahead of Pommy Alex, who's out on the softs now. But here comes Hartman. He has a huge improvement in Sector 2, and indeed, nearly 5 tenths. And up to P7 goes the Alpha Tauri.
Certainly so. Waiting to see where everybody else is. Tinoz is starting his lap. Is that SW on a lap? It is. He's 1 tenth up. So this could see him take the front row slot away from Lifebout, who's on a lap right now as well. No, he even goes even further and takes pole by 7,000. Wow. Let's see where Jamie F1 is. Jamie F1's 2 tenths up as well. This could see him into the top 4 perhaps. If he manages to set up the last couple corners well. Let's see where
RJ's locked up into turn 10. He's going to lose some time there. So he was up through Sector 1, I think, but yeah, he's going to lose some time there. Lifebout, here he comes as well. Could be a threat to pole, but he also locks up in turn 10 and goes wide. So that'll lose him some time. There's certainly some pressure lockups through turn 10, and RJ is 2.5 tenths down, so I think his challenge for pole is over. Lifebout's the only one left, but he's gone very deep at turn 11, and he won't be challenging for pole. So I think it's SW's unless Tinoz can come up with some absolute magic here. Here he comes to the Sector 2 line. What is he? He's purple. I can't see because of the comment screen. I think he was up by about 1/10. He's getting slipstream off his teammate. Is that his teammate? No, it's an Aston Martin, so very convenient there for the Alpha Tauri. I don't know if it gained him any time, though. He might have lost time from weaving. But here he comes to the DRS line. What's it going to be for Tinoz? It's a 26.8. It's a slight improvement, but not enough to get him onto the top 3, and that will be it for qualifying.
Wow.
Because Hartman is invalidated.
That was quite the rush there of qualifying. Lifebout and RJ messing up the laps on the final attempts. But by 7,000ths of a second, SW takes pole position for the Bahrain Grand Prix here at Tier 2.
Second pole in a row for the Williams driver after taking the lap record last time out in Spain. So he'll be happy with that for sure, but only by 7,000ths, and with Lifebout only 1/10 behind as well. This could turn into a very, very good race indeed. And Tinoz is not that far behind either, but I don't think we'll see the championship leader fight quite as hard as any of the guys in the top 3.
No, certainly not. Tinoz will be happy to just sit there, finish the race, get the points, because that's all he's got to do now to keep that championship from slipping from his grasp. He's got one hand on that imaginary trophy. So we close out qualifying with the Williams of SW taking pole position, and lining up alongside him on the front row is RJ Blair in the Alfa Romeo, only 7 thousandths of a second back. Lifeboat in P3 with Tinoz and Jamie F1 making up the top 5. JBS Steve, Krauser, Muhiti, ISRL Hartman and Yusuf making up the rest of the top 10, with Scott Rowley, Pommy Alex, Faistus QBV and Stingray bringing up the back.
I think we're in for a cracker, Sumo.
I think we are indeed. Stingray says his game is broken. That is a shame.
I think he managed to fix it though. So hopefully we'll see him back in the race.
Yes.
But yeah, we're just about to get started. Don't forget to like the streams, guys, if anyone's watching. We've got 11 people on Sumo stream, and don't forget to check out the onboard stream as well if you want to see a different view. But yeah, this is going to be certainly going to be a cracker of a race. Please leave your podium predictions in the comments section. We would love to go through them and have a chat.
Yeah, certainly. We'll always have to see some interaction on the chat. And speaking of predictions, Ghost, I seem to remember I said that I would look up the predictions that we made way back in the pre-season race around the Shanghai International Circuit, and I would give us all a little update on how they're going.
Go for it.
I have done that. I spent the time before the invites went out today. So I want to see if you can remember, Ghost, what you said, who you said were your Constructors champions.
Constructors champions.
Yeah, who did you say?
Oh, I think I went for Alfa Romeo, but I said that Red Bull would be close behind.
Yeah, that's right. You said Alfa Romeo, and I went with Red Bull. How about your drivers champion?
I think I said that it would be between LB and Madman, but Tinoz would be the dark horse, I think is my exact words.
Yeah, you went with LB, I went with Madman. How about most polls?
Most polls... yeah, other streamers on my channel, Ash. Most polls... Oh... I think I said Madman.
You did indeed. You went exactly the same as I did. And then we have most podiums.
Most podiums, I went with Tinoz, I think.
And I went with the People's Champion, Pommy Alex. If I'd have said most P5s, I'd have definitely got that. And it was your choice for most laps led. And who did you say it would be?
Did I say LB?
No, you said Bumblebee and I said LB.
Right. Yeah, Bumblebee unfortunately had to withdraw early in the season due to real life, which is an odd thing.
Yeah.
What is that? Do you know, Sumo?
I don't know. I really don't. But anyway, let's talk of real life. Let's head back into the virtual world as the Williams of SW is lining up in his grid slot alongside that Alfa Romeo for what is going to be the start of what I'm hoping is going to be an epic race. I hope everybody is as excited as I am, because I remember that Tier 1 race. I was there. My voice was gone at the end, and I'm hoping both I and Ghost can't speak tomorrow morning, so let's give it a good. Let's have a good one.
Well, I'm working from home tomorrow, so it works out.
There you go. Alright, we're just waiting for the camera angle to change. There it is. 3, 4, 5 red lights. And away we go for the Grand Prix. It's a great start from Lifeboat in the Aston Martin just behind there. He's already challenging SW for the lead as SW comes all the way over to the inside. He cuts across the front of that Alfa Romeo and they're free abreast into the first corner. It's very tight and there's contact between the top three. And Tinoz takes the lead and Jamie F1 follows by. There's absolute carnage. There's cars all over the place and RJ and SW have dropped all the way to the back 2 positions.
I don't think there was really anything RJ could do about that. I think it was just difficult because it was all 3 of them and none of them knew where each other were as Lifebout goes around the outside of Scott Rowley at turn 6. Good move from the Aston Martin in his recovery, but RJ and SW all the way to the back because of that, and Tinoz, I mean... Sorry, go on.
No, there's some free wide going on, a lot of wheel banging. There's a face as RJ and SW as they try and get themselves back up. And RJ going up the inside of SW. That's never going to work. He goes all the way over the curb and loses both the position he was trying to get and the position he had.
And Stingray and Yusuf side by side into turn 11. Round the outside goes the Ferrari. Stingray squeezes him to the outside. It was a little bit of wheel banging there, but Stingray keeps the position after a little battle with Pommy Alex a little bit earlier. But how does he do it, Sumo? Every single time he picks up the pieces, Tinoz is leading the race as Crozer takes P3 from the house of JBS.
No idea, but here comes QB on Yusuf. Go on, QB, getting racy as they make a little bit of contact there. I'm not sure that was intentional from QB. He might have gone a little bit wide. He loses a position to Stingray as well. JBS Steve coming up now as well. There's a lot going on though. JBS Steve into the pit. He's got damage. It's an unplanned pit stop. That's going to ruin his race from the start. SW and Yusuf going wheel to wheel. They're going side by side for turn 1 and 3. SW gets up ahead. RJ has been left in the dust. 12 positions dropped on lap 1. 6 places up from
Scott
Stingray.
Rowley side by side. Sorry to interrupt. As Scott Rowley gets on the curb and nearly has a spin, manages to save the car, but loses the place to Pommy Alex. As we've got yellow flags in sector 1. That's QB who's gone round at turn 4, unfortunately. So he will drop to the back as RJ and Hephaestus now side by side. RJ round the outside at turn 8. I think he's going to make it work. Is he? They're still side by side though. Hephaestus isn't giving this up, but finally RJ brakes much later, but he's braked too late, and he goes too deep into turn 10, and that's going to invite Hephaestus back down the inside.
And there goes Lifebout as well, up the inside of Krauser in the Red Bull. He gets the position done at turn 11, and is leading into P3 up through turn 12. I definitely can't speak. Jamie F1 keeping Tinoz honest as we go on to lap 3, where the DRS will be activated very, very shortly.
As Yusuf has gone into the back of Scott Rowley at turn, I think that's turn 13. So unfortunate for the Ferrari as Scott maybe goes for a bit of a risky move there. As Yusuf nearly goes into the back of him again. Scott already out of ERS, so here comes the Ferrari down the inside. It should be a pretty simple move, but Scott Rowley isn't one to give up a position that easily. He brakes far too late into turn 1, and that's going to lose him the position straight away.
Some incredible racing already, and it's only lap 3. I wonder what the rest of the race has in store for the moment. There's a big train going from P3. Wow, everybody aboard the Lifebout train with Krauser, Mahiti and Hartman. Is that more going on? Is that Yusuf getting past RJ Blair? It is. I think RJ Blair's on the attack, actually.
It was Scott Rowley. As Pommy Alex has gone for a spin. Pommy Alex has spun round at turn 7? It is. Very easy place to spin. I doubt there was contact. It's very easy to go there on your own. So Pommy Alex down to P13, hoping for a safety car as Hephaestus breaks very late into turn 10. Maybe influenced by Scott Rowley. He seems to be missing his braking points all over the track. RJ Blair.
Oh, there's a yellow flag. That's Jamie F1 round.
F1 has gone for a spin. Yeah, turn 7, another easy place to drop it on your own. So he's going to drop down to P9.
Wow, he was
and possibly 10.
Oh, yeah, he's got RJ all over the back of him as well. Now they're going to go side by side down into 14 and 15. It's they're still side by side at the moment. I think RJ's got it right now. I think Jamie F1 is going to get the DRS on the Alfa Romeo. I think they're both going to get DRS actually as they're in this train. There's a lot of positions being swapped at the minute. SW's got ahead of Stingray. Hartman ahead of Mahiti at the moment. AlphaTauri are looking for a dominant score here this evening.
They are, but Crozer is up there for Red Bull. Don't forget. So if one of the AlphaTauris
Scott Rowley's
does
left the session.
Oh, that's unfortunate. He's lagged out. So, but yeah, if one of the AlphaTauris does drop it in DNF, Crozer is there to pick up the pieces. But meanwhile, Tinoz leading by 4 seconds over Lifebout, who has somehow managed to recover back to P2 after what happened on lap 1. RJ and SW recovering well as well. SW up to 6th, RJ up to P9. So It's not over yet for those guys, and we know they've got the pace advantage on the rest of the field.
Yeah, certainly. So Tinoz definitely has just gone. That carnage at the on the first corner there really playing into his hands, and he's going to happily just sit there at the front and cruise this all the way home. But you know what it's like here at Tier 2. Now that I've said that, he will crash horrendously and bring the safety car.
Well, the Ferraris are doing well in bright news. Muhiti into the top 5. He'll be very happy with that. And he'll be hoping not to drop it, because we've seen a lot of that from Muhiti this season. He gets himself into a decent position and then manages to drop it and either DNF or at least ruin his race. So he comes into the pits.
SW fastest lap. He's on a charge back toward the front. He's already got up to P5 for being in last. That's RJ on Yusuf. Is it? Yes, it is. Side by side into turn 1 again. He's going to go up the inside. Yusuf sticks it around the outside. They're going to continue to go side by side. They are almost a little bit of contact, and Jamie F1 gets involved as well. So Yusuf ships 2 positions in the space of 3 corners. And here comes Jamie F1 looking to set up a move on RJ. Is he? No, he's not quite going to do it. He's going to stick behind for now. There's another interesting battle going on a bit further up ahead, as it's Hartmann versus Krauser, Red Bull versus Alpha Tauri.
Yeah, indeed. This is the constructor battle here between these two. They're at the top of the constructor standings, so Krauser needs to secure as many points as he can for Red Bull, but Hartmann, self-professed not good at this track. Well, I beg to differ. He's in P4 at the moment and running well.
Here he comes. He's on the attack. Look to the inside of Krauser. Sorry, as there's action going on up further along as well. Jamie up ahead of RJ. Yusuf looking for a way past RJ as well, but he's not quite going to find it down here. We move back to the front. There's battles all over the place at the moment as well, as Hartmann's looking to set a move up on Krauser, and I think he might just get it down toward turn 1.
Yeah, Jamie went for an overtake down the inside of RJ at turn 10, as Yusuf now goes down the inside of RJ into the final corner. Hartmann gets past Krauser up ahead, who goes into the pits actually. So we've got yellow flagged in sector 2. That Scott Rowley is off and DNF from the race, and that will be a safety car. Perfect timing for the Alfa Romeo of RJ, but Yusuf goes down the inside anyway. Surely he'll have to give up that position.
Yeah, surely. I'm not sure. I mean, they might have been side by side as the safety car came out. I think we might end up seeing that one in the steward's room.
Yeah, that's a slam dunk 10-second penalty if it's reported. Yeah, it's been decent so far. But we do finally have a first safety car of the race. Scott Rowley goes off at turn 11 and brings it out.
Yeah, I will be very shocked if none of the, if not all of the soft runners could come in. It's around that time now. It's a 2-stop race if you start on the softs, unless you're really good with tyres, as some of the Tier 1 guys proved. I think the hard tyres probably their best bet, although mediums are quicker.
Mediums won't make it to the end, so if they go into mediums, it'll be a 2-stop.
Yeah.
But hards, if they want to commit to the 1-stop, but the hards will be awful for at least for the first few laps, and they will drop like a stone. So it'll be interesting to see what they decide here, because there's 2 very viable strategies to do here. But yeah, as you said, if you can stretch the tires a long way, soft medium is possible and probably the best strategy, or maybe even medium soft is the best strategy. But this early safety car is going to put paid to that idea. As you said, all of the soft runners in, including Stingray, who is not a soft runner, Jamie in, Yusuf in, everyone into the pits. RJ comes in, Hephaestus in. Is Krauser going to follow them as well? It's awful timing for Krauser, by the way. Because he pitted the lap before the safety car came out. So he's going to lose possibly a bunch of positions here. I think he might lose out to Hartmann, although it will be close. Down the straight he comes. I think he's just about going to get ahead of the Alpha Tauri. He does, so he doesn't actually lose any positions for it.
Oh, it's almost very reminiscent of what happened this weekend, just gone, in Saudi Arabia.
Yes. Yeah, that was almost a Hamilton sort of luck there, but No, Crozer gets away with it, and back up into P3 he goes. And by the way, Tinnell's lead completely evaporated thanks to the safety car. He was 4 seconds ahead, so now he's going to have to find himself defending from Lifebout, although Lifebout has gone on to the different strategy. He's on the hards, so Lifebout wants to go to the end, as the medium runners definitely will not make it. 100%. There is no way on earth they make it to the end on mediums. No way. Unless there's another safety car.
I think Lifebout should have maybe stuck with the medium tyre, as in going to it. The hards could be a mistake from the Aston Martin.
Well, both Aston Martins have done the same thing. I don't know if
LB's in, but he's not going to be able to join the race. That is such a shame.
I'm sure he'll be watching, probably in a party with Crozer. But yeah, the two Aston Martins both on the same strategy, so I don't know if they're communicating or if that's a coincidence, but Lifebout onto the hards. He's currently running P2, and he could find himself eaten up by all the medium runners behind when this race restarts, especially SW, who's lurking down in P5 after starting on pole, and then of course the disaster at turn 1, and RJ has dropped to P11 thanks to a not ideal pit stop window.
Yeah, certainly. Alright, we're going to go one more lap then under safety car, and I believe we'll be in straight after. All the cars just weaving away back there. I do like that on the, especially on like the actual TV coverage, where you get to see all the cars just weaving along.
Or if you're Kimi Raikkonen, you just drive in a straight line.
Just driving a straight line, that's it. Raikkonen way.
So some Pommy Alex onto the softs, so they're committing to going on the mediums later, which I think, I mean, the guys who stopped on mediums, they're going to be softs to the end, and they're going to be very, very fast at the end compared to the mediums. So I'm not sure what the right strategy is here. For those back runners, I think the softs might be a mistake because they're going to get caught up in the traffic. So they're going to lose any advantage they would have gained on the softs. So, yeah, not sure that's the right call.
No, certainly not on the soft. The wet tyre wear on the softs is just so high around here. So when you're stuck in traffic, it just makes it all the much worse. But I think if they were to go onto the hards after those softs, they'd be in a decent window. But that's whether they can gain any kind of advantage from being on these soft tyres on the restart. But it'll be an interesting battle for sure, as I think we might just see Lifebout get swallowed up by the guys behind him, as those hard tyres are incredibly difficult to warm up.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're going to see him weaving like crazy as soon as the safety car says it's coming in, and even that might not be enough. Those tyres are going to be very cold at the start. We can already see him wrestling with the steering wheel, trying to get some temperature into those tyres. And the safety car is in this lap, so Tinoz will lead us away.
The third Aston Martin will leave the circuit, and Tinoz will become the effective safety car as everyone begins weaving to get the warmth into those tyres, especially those Aston Martins on the hard tyres. Scott Rowley has finally left the session. That was a shame for his race ended in the way that it did, but that is the nature of motor racing. We just wait for Tinoz now to get this race back underway. He can go any time between now and the line. I think he'll choose to go out of this corner. Yeah, he's hustling him along, but I think Tinoz is gone. Yeah, he has. He's dropped it. And Lifebout has stayed with him, and he's going to go on the attack already. He's got those tyres nice and warm. He's going to look to the outside of Tinoz as he goes defensive. He's going to go side by side. I think the Krause is trying to look for a way through as well, but he's not quite going to find it. But will he find it on the Lifebout? No, he won't. He's not quite going to have the speed coming into the corner.
He goes to the back.
Lifebout has stayed P2 at the moment as Tinoz has fended him off. The Ferrari has dropped way to the back. That's a shame for him. Let's see if there's anything going on down here. Jamie F1 are looking around the outside of SW, but he's not quite going to get it. RJ up ahead of Yusuf, and he's going from along the outside of Stingray, soon the inside of turn 6, and he gets the job done.
That was 2 places
Oh,
in
and
one
along comes
corner for
Yusuf as
RJ.
well along the outside of turn 8. This could be a great move, but Stingray's going to hold him off. They're going to continue to go side by side as the outside becomes the inside. And there's JBS Steve going as contact down toward the back between the McLaren and the Mercedes. It's all kicking off.
Yeah, Hephaestus tries to go around the outside of turn 10 on JBS Steve, which was just not going to work, and there was contact. Luckily, neither of them had a spin, but Hephaestus did lose a position as Jamie F1 is now hustling SW. This was very unexpected with SW's pace that he's shown so far, but Jamie F1, no slouch clearly, and he wants to put the pressure on the Williams, as Hartmann also wants to put the pressure on the Red Bull ahead of him. To make it an AlphaTauri double podium as Hephaestus gets past Pommy Alex into the last corner, and Pommy Alex can't quite get the switcheroo, so that will be a position for the Mercedes as Pommy Alex comes in, so must have taken damage at some point.
Oh, that is a shame for the People's Champion in the McLaren. There's just battles all up and down the grid. Jamie F1 really hustling. He did have the pace to keep up with Tinoz earlier. No DRS yet, as we haven't quite had 3 laps of green flag racing. So we're going to continue to follow along. There's a huge train, 6 cars in a train to the lead. Then another, then there's RJ who's just on the back of it. He's teetering on the edge of that 1 second mark. He's sat there on 1.2, 1.1. It's dropping down again to 1.0, 9/10 now. So he joins onto the back of this train now, as it makes it an 8-car train for the lead thus far. Actually, Krause has dropped off a little bit as Lifeboat is trying to put the pressure on, but those tyres just not giving him anything to work with.
Running on board with Hartmann as he had a huge scare on the exit of turn 10.
And there comes JBS Steve on Stingray. He's looking toward the outside around turn 11. Can he make it stick? Stingray fends him off on those hard tyres, and Hephaestus gets up the inside of the house and he gets the position. Great move.
As Hartmann makes the move on Crozer, they're side by side now. Go the 2 Red Bull sister cars. And into the last corner, it's going to be Hartmann on the inside. Who's going to have the DRS? No one, because it's not enabled yet. So Crozer around the outside of the AlphaTauri makes the move. DRS now enabled, but it won't be on this straight, so it's all
here comes
down
SW
to the
as
DRS.
well.
Yeah, SW getting involved. This could make it 3 wide as Crozer's going to be under huge pressure coming into turn 1. Down the inside goes Crozer on the AlphaTauri, but Hartmann makes it stick, and Jamie is going on the inside of SW as well. Contact between them, and RJ takes full advantage.
Wow, that was a crazy few moments there. RJ's got well up ahead of a lot of these guys and well into the mix now. It's quite the battle for only P, the last place on the podium actually, as it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-car battle once again for another position.
Jamie nearly goes for a spin. Is that going to invite SW? Not quite. So Jamie really struggling with the car as RJ tries to find his way past the Red Bull now to get himself back on the podium after what was a disastrous lap 1. He's looking very racy again.
Yeah, he certainly is. Hartmann doing well to fend these guys off now, as DRS will have been activated now, I believe. Lifeboat's staying within 5/10 of Tinoz, so he's keeping him honest. Lifeboat's looking good here.
He really is on those hard tyres. He wants to go to the end, and he could easily manage it as Hephaestus goes down the inside of Yusuf and makes the move. Yusuf struggling as Stingray loses position to JBS Steve meanwhile.
And here comes Mahiti as well. He's up the inside of turn 14. That's an easy job done. He gets up to the inside of the Haas as well. There's going to be 2 positions in the space of 2 corners. What a
positions. Yusuf went badly as well as RJ and Jamie now go side by side, as well as the AlphaTauri and the Red Bull in front, and SW getting involved. How have they all stayed on the track there? There was 3 wide through turn 2. That's incredible. But RJ still not able to make any progress, and in fact loses the position to Jamie, who's looking fantastic.
Krause goes deep. Jamie, here he comes. He's going around the outside.
Lovely move from him. Great opportunistic stuff. And SW just has to watch with the popcorn, but not anymore. He goes down the inside of RJ into turn 8. An unexpected move, but it doesn't pay off. RJ has the drive. And all of these guys battling hugely for the podium, but Jamie F1 looks fantastic in race pace.
Yeah, he certainly does. He's only got Hartman to clear now, but he's 8 tenths back, and he's got to remember to look at his mirrors and think about these guys behind, because they're all looking racy here at the moment. And this could also bring Hephaestus in, who's made some decent progress on those soft tyres. So the strategy could be going Hephaestus' way later on in this race as we start to approach the halfway mark. But look at Lifebout, 3 tenths off the back of Tinos. He's going to be on the attack this lap for sure. Tinos not used any ERS though. He's not had to. He's not felt that he's had to, as he's been on those medium tyres. They're still going to have a bit of life in him. But the DRS for Lifebout is going to be very strong as they come down to turn 1. Is it going to be the inside for Lifebout? It's not. He's going to stick behind and he's going to try again at the next corner. He's thinking about...
Meanwhile, SW down the inside of RJ. Sorry to interrupt. They're side by side into turn 1. The two front row drivers go side by side, and SW makes the overtake as Hephaestus continues to close up as these guys battle, as Jamie now gets into P3 down the inside of Hartman into turn 4. Hartman tries to get the better exit, but it's to no avail. The Alpine is looking fierce right now. Hartman out of ERS, Jamie on 36, so pretty healthy for the Alpine as well. SW has the most ERS of this train, but Jamie F1 is looking brilliant, and he's going to be trying to catch up to the top 2 now.
Yeah, he certainly will. Jamie looking very, very racy right now. He's going to look to break away from this pack and leave them fighting with each other. But the DRS is going to keep these guys in contention as Hartman closes up 2 tenths already. Lifebout looking to go on the attack once again. It's all about DRS mind games now, as Lifebout won't want to overtake into turn 1, as that will give Tinos the DRS into the next corner.
Yeah, they'll have watched the Bahrain Grand Prix from a couple of weeks ago, where Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen...
Oh, here comes SW up to the inside. He looks at it, but he's not quite going to go for it. He's going to try again on the DRS straight.
Here he goes. It's going to be tight. Crozer with less ERS in the tank, but they've both got DRS. Here comes the Williams, though. Look at the closing speed. Crozer defends the inside, so he's going to force the Williams around the outside, who breaks far too late, nearly into the back of Hartman, and it might not have been too late after all. He makes it work round the outside of the AlphaTauri. 2 positions, and Crozer loses out to RJ, who's now going down the inside of Hartman. It's still going on. Down the inside he goes into turn 4, and Hartman loses another position, and he's
there's contact!
Crozer's gone round. There's contact. And I don't think, I'm not sure, it was hard to say from my view, but I'm sure we'll be seeing that in the stewards. That's the second time in 2 races that Hartman and Crozer have made contact, and Crozer has been the one to come off worse, so I'm sure the Red Bull won't be happy. But Jamie F1 gets a 3-second time penalty though, so he has extended a gap to SW over a second, but that's going to come down with DRS. But the penalty is going to be huge, and that could cost the Alpine a podium here. We're only halfway through, though.
Yeah, we certainly are. Tinos starting to use a little bit of that ERS now. He's trying to break away from Lifebout, but the longer this stint goes on for, the worse Tinos' tyres are going to be in comparison to Lifebout's. Lifebout could seriously be in for the win today.
He really could. He is looking fantastic on pace. And I don't think he wants to overtake Tinos, really. He wants to just hold the DRS and stay behind, because he knows Tinos is going to have to pit again. But look, Hephaestus within 2 seconds of the pack now, so he could be joining in soon if those softs don't start to deteriorate, which I think they will very soon, as RJ now looks to go on the attack of SW, but he's not quite close enough into turn 4.
No, not quite on this occasion. It's calmed down a little bit now, but it's definitely looking still racy. These guys are all still very close with each other.
Yeah, for sure. And the chicane goes. RJ nearly goes for a spin on the onboard and breaks far too late as a result. Is that going to invite Hartman through? No, he's too far back. So
does bring him back RJ into this train, though.
Yeah. But yeah, a costly mistake for RJ nearly. He's got the DRS, he's back in the train, and yeah, train of 4 cars, Crozer all the way back in P10. He is not going to be happy. He's going to be fueled by that disappointment and hoping for a safety car to get himself back in this, as Muhiti has recovered to P9 after his spin at the safety car restart, but as I ride on board with him, nearly goes for another spin and gets himself a 3-second time penalty. So I feel like that was my fault.
Well, that's what we do at Tier 2. We curse the drivers we ride on board with. Here comes SW again. He's going to go on the attack on Jamie F1. He's got the DRS. He's using the ERS as well. Jamie defends to the inside.
For the lead. Sorry to interrupt. Down the inside for turn 1 goes Lifebout. Tinoz keeps him behind though. But Lifebout's going to have the DRS into turn 4 now. SW did make the move on Jamie. I don't know if that was on your stream, Suno. But Lifebout round the outside of the AlphaTauri now. They're still side by side in turn 4. He's made it stick. The superior grip now on those hards clearly puts Lifebout into the lead of the race. And Tinoz has nothing to say about that. The championship leader is going to have to pit at some point before the end of this race. And yeah, he just has no answer for the Aston Martin.
Wow, those hard tyres really coming in. It wasn't a mistake at all for this side of the Aston Martin garage. As Stingray is actually on the mediums again, he's coming back at him.
Lifebout, a poor exit out of turn 10, but
he's going for the
switcheroo at turn 11. Lifebout round the outside now for turn 12. Can he make it? No. Tinoz keeps the position. Great battling between these two as Lifebout gets a time penalty though. That could really cost him. Turn number 13, or was that turn 12? Down to the last corner now as he hits the back of the AlphaTauri. Hopefully he hasn't got damage from that. I'm just going to switch to the other cam to see. There's no visible damage, so but there could be an olive wing for Lifebout. We'll have to see as SW sets the fastest lap, so he's back in contention for the lead. Here comes Lifebout again. Tinoz trying to do a Charles Leclerc though and get the better exit into turn 2 and 3, but he hasn't got the better exit. But Lifebout nearly goes for a spin, saves the car, but that's going to invite Tinoz back round the outside for turn 4. They're still side by side. It's deja vu, but the other way round this time, and Tinoz has done what Lifebout did to him.
Wow, no changes of position at the back as well, although Jamie was looking 4 away through on SW along that as Tinoz and Lifebout battle, but Lifebout is really doing good. What this is doing though is bringing SW into the fray. Look how much he's closed by now. It's only 1.9 now, and if these guys continue to fight, it's going to be on. I think Lifebout needs to think about the guys behind him as well, especially now he's got that penalty. He just needs to work with Tinoz and wait until he comes into the pits and hope that that he can keep the advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. SW was 4 seconds behind just a couple of laps ago, so that battling has really brought him back in contention. But look at the ERS difference between the three of them. SW on 16%, Lifebout in the mid-30s, but Tinoz on 50%, so he has been saving that ERS really well. The current championship leader, and Lifebout's not going to have an opportunity on this straight. He's too far behind, but maybe Jamie F1 will. But SW and Jamie both into the pits, so that'll free up Lifebout and Tinoz a little bit. And that'll be music to the ears of Lifebout, who is going to the end, unlike these other guys. But can they bring that gap back is the question. There's about 10 laps to go in this race. They're going to go on to fresh softs, maybe, or mediums. They're on another set of mediums. So are they going to be fast enough?
I think he should have gone to the mediums, but I'm not sure he had a fresh set left. So that's that's an odd call from Hephaestus. But he should get some decent points. It's just about getting out ahead of JBS Steve, but he's going to have to fend him off because he's on fresh mediums. And JBS is going to come on the attack on Hephaestus. He's got the DRS. Hephaestus defends to the inside. The Haas looking to go all the way around the outside. It's going to be a good move if he gets it off. He's got the better grip as Hephaestus goes for a half spin and loses the position. Anyway, those cold, hard tyres not heated up yet, not rubbered in.
Yeah, so easy to lose the rear end on those cold tyres as Hephaestus loses the position, and I think we're going to see him drop as well. Here comes Muhiti, the Ferrari just behind. Be careful, don't brake too late, Muhiti, and he does hit the back of Hephaestus, but I don't think any damage was done. DRS now into turn, is this turn 11, I think. So here comes the Ferrari down the inside of the Mercedes. Is there going to be contact? No, Hephaestus leaves the room and Muhiti up into P9. So Hephaestus really struggling at the moment as Hartman now around the outside of RJ.
Oh, that was a good move. He's going to have the DRS again. RJ got a lot more ERS in the tank to use. Hartman gets a poor exit out of turn 2 there. I'm not sure about you guys, but I think Tinoz might try and go to the end.
Oh, I mean, he's putting himself at serious risk of a puncture if he goes to the end. You can see already he's struggling. He had a bit of a moment there out of turn 7. So, that's going to be a massive struggle to get to the end on those mediums. I mean, I think if he was speed alcoholic, yeah, he could do it. But speed alcoholic is the tire god of APPF1. So unless Tinoz is in that league and just hasn't proved it to us yet, I think he will struggle to do that, and we may see him dive into the pits for softs in the coming laps.
Now, SW now have a 3-second time penalty. That's big news for the winner of this race at the minute, as that's going to keep him away from Lifebout. So only Tinoz really can challenge. But unless RJ can catch up, he's sat 3.4 behind thus far. He is slowly catching up though, but he also does have to come in. Lifebout's going to go on the attack once again. He's not even using the DRS because I don't think he got it, as he's going to look to the inside.
He did get it. He didn't activate it. He didn't want to overtake at turn 1. I don't think he wants to overtake at turn 4 either. He's not using the ERS, so he's going to work with Tinoz here and hope to build a gap. But if Tinoz gets slower and slower, he's going to be forced into no choice as he sees Jamie and SW lighting up the timing screen, so he knows that those guys are going to be on the hunt.
Yeah, chances are those guys might start fighting each other as well, but that's not going to help them out as it comes toward the end of this race. Lifebout will be hoping that there's no safety car at the end, because that's really going to throw a spanner in the works for his plan at the moment. Perhaps he's been listening to the stream as he's been racing and has heard what we said to do on there. But perhaps not. We're not quite sure what Tinoz is actually planning on doing. He's seeming like he's going to go to the end. Maybe he'll go for some soft tyres toward the end.
Yeah, I think that's what he's doing. I think he's staying until around lap 20, 21, 22, and then he'll come in for softs as SW on the attack on Crozer. But look at the ERS difference between them. SW already down to 10%. He only pitted a couple of laps ago. Jamie F1 in a similar situation.
Oh, he's going around the outside!
Around the outside. Crozer gets a terrible exit and loses position to Jamie as well. I don't know does Crozer have damage maybe? It's unclear. It doesn't look like it, so maybe just
Yusuf's retired from the race. RJ's into the pits as well.
Yusuf is retired. Yeah, RJ into the pits, as he said. So he's going to be putting on a fresh set of the soft tyres. So can RJ challenge for a podium
just
today?
Behind this battle here.
Yeah,
this is going to get spicy.
He doesn't have a penalty. So he will be in this fight, the Alfa Romeo. He's come out about 3 seconds behind as Lifebout makes the move on. Tinoz has spun! Tinoz has spun! In Sector 2, he's gone for a spin. It's a very, very rare mistake from the championship leader. Does he have any damage? Can you see, Sumo?
Yeah, he's got... Yeah, that's the front right end plate. That's the front right end plate from Mr. Consistent. That is the first time we've seen him drop the ball like that the whole season. Yeah, you're right. That's the first major mistake we've seen from the championship leader all season. And it's going to really cost him here. It's definitely going to cost him the podium. But will it cost him even a top 5 finish? I think it might do. He's lost so much time. He's going to lose even more time because they're going to have to repair his wing as well. He's dropped 10, 11 seconds to Lifebout since the spin. So Tinoz in a hugely poor position here, which is not something we're used to seeing. Yeah, this is not the Tinoz we're used to see. Perhaps the break has knocked him off his stride a little bit. He's going to come into the pits. He's going to lose a lot of time Krauser won't know he's got wing damage, but if he came in this lap, it's a stroke of genius, and he is. He's going to come in this lap. Comes Krauser, so he could get ahead of Tino's in the pit lane, but Jamie
down
and
the inside
SW.
of Jamie. There's contact at turn 1. Sorry to interrupt. There was wheel banging there, but SW loses out to Jamie. Neither of them have got any ERS in the tank, so they've been battling quite a lot, it seems. And they're currently running P3 and P4, but RJ is in the hunt without a penalty on fresh soft tyres. And I think he's a real threat for P2 today. Maybe P1 if Lifebout makes a mistake, but Lifebout looks very strong right now. As Hartman is going to have to pit again.
Oh,
he goes for a spin on his own. There was no contact there. He wasn't close enough. So SW down to P5. He's going to drop more positions. I don't know if he's going to have to pit. I don't think he had damage, so he's gotten away with it, but he's lost so much time, and now RJ only has one car left to clear.
Yeah, RJ, this could be an easy job for RJ. Those soft tyres are going to be so much more grippy than those mediums, but they are going to fall off quickly. So all Jamie's got to do is fend him off, but in the process, he's going to be losing that time. You can see he's gaining on Hartman just a little bit as Hartman comes into the pits now. But yeah, Lifebout, I think, has got this in the bag as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. And touching wood, I should never have said that. If he crashes, it's all my fault.
Well, he's got a 15-second gap as RJ sets the fastest lap by quite some distance. Here comes the Alfa Romeo down the inside of Jamie F1. Jamie's going to fight him, though, round the outside, but I don't think it's going to work. He's going to try and get the better exit, but the extra grip on those softs is just far too much. And as well, the extra ERS on RJ's part, 40% more, and Jamie is going to have nothing to say about that one, and he's just going to be hoping to secure P3, I think. I think it would be his first podium of the season? It would. His best finish so far is P7, so Jamie F1 in a good position for his first podium.
Yeah, certainly so. RJ has got quite the task to do. He's got enough laps to do it, I think. But whether the tyres are going to carry him all the way. Let's have a look at the penalty situation as we come toward the end of the race. It's 3 seconds across the board, except for QB, who's got 15 seconds. So he's really not had a good time of it out there today, QB. But he's going to probably finish the race, which is in typical QB fashion. So RJ has only got to close in 15 seconds within what will be 5 laps at the end of this lap.
Wow, 3 seconds a lap I think is too much. Even for fresh softs, that's just too much to do. Lifebout's still looking fairly strong on those hards. We lambasted him for picking the hards at the safety car restart, but it turns out to have been a wonderful decision.
Tino's on Hephaestus.
Yeah, makes the move on Hephaestus, who's still struggling on those hard tyres. So Tino's trying to get as much as he can out of this race as Hartman goes down the inside of SW on the run to turn 1. But SW goes for the dive into turn 1. There's contact inevitably, but Hartman leaves just enough room that SW doesn't get damaged, but he's going to have a better run. He's compromised Hartman's line, which is probably what he intended, and down the inside he goes. SW back into P4, but not for long. Hartman trying to hang it round the outside. Those fresh softs really working, but not enough. SW keeps the position for now.
That's some great racing between those two. Really getting the elbows out there. I'm sure Hartman will look to come back at him. He's on those fresh soft tyres, SW 5-lap old mediums. So he's really on the back foot on that penalty. He's going to see Hartman possibly take the last spot on the podium for now.
Possibly, but he's going to have to really make some tracks in the last few laps. And he's going to have to get past SW as soon as he can and close up 5 seconds to Jamie in what is going to be 5 laps. So it's possible, but it will be tricky. And Hartman, as I said earlier, is self-professed. He doesn't like this track. So if he can get a podium today, he would be absolutely delighted.
Yeah, the gap's down by 2 seconds from RJ to Lifebout. He's a second off what he needs to do. He really needs to get the move on now. He has broken away from Jamie, so there's no threat from attack back there. He's really just got to put in some qualifying laps to go for it. Here comes Hartman again. He's looking to the outside, down into turn 1. He's going to get it, I think, but SW brakes slightly later. He goes round the outside with those grippier tyres, and he gets it, but he's not going to have the DRS coming down to turn 4. That goes to SW. He's going to come down on the attack again, and I think Hartman's just about going to fend him off. No, SW brakes later and goes straight down the outside, which has compromised his run, and Hartman goes underneath him, and they're going to go side by side into the next corner and say, oh, that's very close racing. Incredible stuff through there.
Fantastic from SW to keep that position, but he's gone deep into turn 8, and here comes Hartman again. It's going to be round the outside, side by side into 9 and 10. Surely not, and Hartman does sensibly back out, but he's going to have the DRS and a better exit out of turn 10. SW with a little bit of a slide. Here comes Hartman. He doesn't have the ERS though, but neither of them do. Here comes Hartman round the outside now into turn 11. SW trying to hold it, but the grippier soft tyres finally win out, and Hartman gets to position for now, and SW is going to lose out, I think. I don't know if he's going to be close enough come the main straight, but it will be close. There's 5 tenths between them, 4 tenths now. Hartman's out of ERS, so is SW, so it's a straight fight of slipstream and DRS. Is SW going to be close enough into turn 1? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, we're waiting to see as he comes down. They're both incredibly low on ERS. This could bring JBS Steve into the fray if they keep fighting as well. Yeah. He doesn't have a penalty either, so he could be on for a great result as SW down the inside of Hartman. Hartman going to stick it to him round the outside. They're going to go side by sides through turn 2 and 3. I think SW is going to keep... No, JBF1's going to keep the lead. Wait, what am I looking at? Hey, it's SW. I'm looking at the wrong cars. SW is going to keep the position for now as Hartman goes to try and attack back at him.
Deja vu yet again. Hartman leaves the inside open and SW takes it and compromises Hartman's line through turns 2 and 3 and takes the position back. And as you said, Sumo, JBS Steve is now in this fight, and with, well, 3.5 laps to go, Tinos is only 3 seconds back from them as well.
Yeah, this could be quite the scrap to the end of the line. I think Jamie F1 might just get away with having that podium. 9.7 seconds. This battling has really cost these guys any chance of being the last person on the podium for now. So RJ, it's down to 12 seconds now. He's got what is 3 laps to catch Lifeboat. I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He's got 9 seconds to close.
Yeah, it's there's not enough time. There's just simply not enough time for RJ to close that, as Muhiti goes down the inside of Hephaestus, who I think made a mistake, still struggling the most hards. But here comes Hartman again. JBS Steve just has to watch from behind. Here comes the Alpha Tauri. It's going to be deja vu yet again. Round the outside goes Hartman, the American. Round the outside, there's contact. SW breaks very late, and Hartman has to take avoiding action and gets a time penalty, so that's going to cost him perhaps P4 if he can't make the move.
Here comes JBS Steve, he's looking to the inside.
He's looking at this as well, but he doesn't have any ERS to spend either, so the ERS management between all of these guys not quite up to scratch. But yeah, Hartman just can't seem to get past the brick wall of SW at the moment. I don't think he'll be happy about some of the late braking that SW has been doing, but it's been a bit of tyre banging, but nothing more than that in terms of actual contact. So, yeah, it's not what Hartman would have wanted. He would have wanted to clear the Williams as soon as he could to get after Jamie, but all of these guys are going to lose out as it stands. And JBS Steve could find himself in P4 because of the penalties. And perhaps Tinos as well is catching. It's already under 2 seconds between the pack and Tinos. So Tinos could well find himself in P5 here.
Yeah, he certainly could. Tinos is a wily fox. He's going to look to try and get himself as high up the grid as he possibly can after that big mistake from him. Hartman's on the attack once more, but I think he's just too far back from SW. He'll look to close in and then set the move up down toward turn 4. He has a little look for it as SW goes a little bit defensive, a bit half-heartedly so, but he continues to keep the position for now. Hartman going to look on the attack again. I'm still not sure he's close enough to go for it, so SW still P4 for now.
This battle is going to go down to the last lap of the race, but Tinoz is now nearly within 3 seconds of his teammate. So I find it hard to believe Tinoz isn't going to get away with P5 here, because these two have battled so hard. They've lost so much time. And Tinoz is looking fantastic for a P5 finish despite everything. And JBS Steve looking good for P4 as well.
Yeah, certainly so. A great race from the Haas driver. I can't remember where he finished in the last race. If he finished at all, we'll have to look at that after this race as we continue to watch Hartmann chase down SW. SW still staying ahead of the AlphaTauri for the moment, but those so close. So close between contact there, between the back of that Williams car, and Hartmann's on the attack already. SW running him all the way to the white line. He's really desperate to keep that position ahead. Hartmann only on 4-lap-old tyres. Those mediums are going to start feeling it a little bit, but so are those softs due to tyre degradation. But here comes Hartmann once again. Is he going to be close enough to make a move? I don't think he is. SW going straight in the middle of the track, positioning that Williams beautifully, keeping Hartmann behind for now, but Hartmann will look to get the DRS again down toward turn 4 and claim the position there, opening up that DRS ring, sitting in the slipstream, but he's not going to be close enough again. He might try and make a late braking move, but he doesn't, so he sits behind the Williams for now. Very frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to be kicking himself after this race that he couldn't get past SW, but it's not over yet. Is he going to make a move into turn 8? Possibly. Not quite. Not quite, no, as SW keeps the position for now.
Hartmann gets a much better exit though through that corner. He's going to look to set it up down toward 11. He's pushing that Williams through. That Williams really losing the pace at the moment. Hartmann going to look to come at him once again, but I don't think he's got the speed to close in.
Meanwhile, Lifebout is coming across the line to win the Bahrain Grand Prix and crashes out over the line in celebration. RJ comes home in P2. I'm still watching Hartmann and SW just went side by side into turn 12. But SW has the light on, but so does Hartmann. There's just nothing they can do. And Tinoz is going to perhaps get himself P6 here. I don't think he's going to make it on SW. It's going to be very close. SW takes P4 across the line. Hartmann P5, but JBS Steve is going to take P4. What about Tinoz? He's only P7. He couldn't overtake his teammate in the end on penalties. So it's an AlphaTauri 6-7, and Tinoz does pay for that mistake earlier. Muhiti comes home a respectable P9 after penalties. Crozer recovers to P8 in the end after the contact earlier. Hephaestus P10. Pommy Alex a disappointing P11. Stingray comes home in P12 after a pretty lonely race, but not quite as lonely as our favourite Haas driver, QB. No offence, JBS Steve. Yeah, QB going around the final few corners now. But Lifebout takes his first win in APPF1.
Wow. We said on lap 12 during the safety car, I believe it was, that Lifebout had made a mistake going onto the hard tyre. And how wrong were we? How wrong were we? The man had played that beautifully, perhaps even listened to us as we were on the stream saying it, and has managed to win his first race in APPF1. He lost it so bitterly in Russia a couple of weeks ago, and has finally got himself a taste of the top step of the podium as he comes out absolutely ecstatic. What a great race. What a great result for the Aston Martin driver. That is a thoroughly deserved win as he takes the top step of the Bahrain Grand Prix for you this evening. He'll be followed by RJ Blair, of course, who takes P2 in the Alfa Romeo and gets the fastest lap for good measure. Jamie F1 makes up the final spot on the podium after managing that penalty he had, along with some help from battling cars just behind. JBS Steve gets a good result in the Haas car, taking P4. Of SW, a slightly disappointing P5 after a great pole position in qualifying. Hartmann P6 outperforming his teammate Tinoz, who comes in P7, who had a horrible spin from the lead of the race. Krauser P8, Muhiti P9, and Hephaestus makes up the last of the top 10. The People's Champion Pommy Alex taking P11, not his usual spot of P5. Stingray in P12, and QB will make up the last of the finishers, with Yusuf and Scott Rowley not able to finish the race.
Well, all I can say is well done to Lifebout. Absolutely fantastic drive from the Aston Martin. The Dutchman finally gets his win after a redemption from Singapore, which could have gone so much better for him.
Singapore? Was it Singapore?
Yeah.
It was Russia.
It was Singapore where he crashed out from the lead after the safety car. Yeah, Lifebout is here to stay in terms of a driver right at the top. And a superior strategy decision sees him win this race by nearly 6 seconds over a charging RJ. So well done to the Dutchman.
Yeah, incredible stuff. Another Dutchman up the top joins the likes of Rick, and in real life Max Verstappen, of course, as a F1 race winner. That was an incredible race to watch, as we see the fireworks being set ablaze in over the skies of Bahrain, and that is that's going to be a lot. We're just waiting for the things to go. But there's any insights, Ghost? I mean, Tinoz has had a very uncharacteristic error, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd agree with that. I mean, Crozer is going to propel himself into P2 in the championship. With, I think, Pommy Alex, despite a poor result today, is going to be in P3 thanks to LB and Madman not being so hot in the last few weeks. And Hartman, a decent result for him, P6, he'll be up there. But, I mean, it's all about Lifebout today, I think, and possibly RJ as well, because RJ nearly qualified on pole, had a terrible incident with Lifebout and SW at the start, which was, I think, just unfortunate. We might see it in the stewards, but personally, from the first viewing, it just looked like it was an unfortunate 3 wide. None of them knew where each other were, and what happened. But what a recovery from him. He was right at the back after that incident, and he's come back up and finished P2 with the fastest lap. So well done to him. But yeah, Lifebout, fantastic. And also, I think I mentioned to Jamie F1 for his first podium in APPF1. Fantastic race from him.
Yeah, incredibly so. There was a lot of fantastic racing up and down the grid. Bahrain, as I said at the beginning of this evening's stream, doesn't disappoint in the virtual world of racing at all. It was an absolutely incredible race. We saw it in Tier 1 and we saw it again here in Tier 2. And well, I'm definitely going to need a nice cup of tea after that one. And I think the lobby might be a little bit broken, so Codemaster's not fixing everything after the patch that had just came out today. But next week we start April off with a trip to the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas, as we could go into round 11 of Season 3, as Tinoz loses a few points, but he still gains over his rivals, so he will continue to lead the championship. And AlphaTauri just outscoring Red Bull, and not LB not being here today is going to be a huge punch to the gut.
Yeah, for sure. His chances of a top 3 finish in this championship taken a hit after getting caught out by the update today, but I'm sure he'll be back next week, and raring to go for another podium.
Yes, certainly. So we are going to leave you tonight. What a great result we've had in Tier 1, not Tier 1, Tier 2. Sorry. It's been an incredible night of racing, as it always is here at Tier 2. And I'm glad that Ghost and I have brought it to you, of course. Only 4 races left to go before the championship comes to its conclusion. Let's hope that it can be just as thrilling as all the other races have been. Remember to like and subscribe both on my channel and Ghost's channel for both streams. Go check out the onboard stream as well for the onboard footages of a lot of the drivers and a lot of the battles that you saw here at the track. And of course check out the rest of our APPF1 affiliates, especially our fellow commentator Zach Sweeney, who does an incredible job and deserves all the support that we can give him. He's done a lot for APPF1 and he deserves it all. But anyway, I'm going to wrap up now. It's been an incredible evening of motor racing, and I have been Sumo.
And I have been Ghost.
We will see you next week, same time, same place, for round 11 of the championship. Goodbye for now, everyone.